We're getting a serious problem with roe deer bucks rubbing their antlers against the trunks of 10-15-year-old trees. They're breaking the bark in places. They don't seem fussy about which sort of tree they attack, anything where they can rub their antlers. And the solution to this problem, although very unsightly, is actually to put some of these now biodegradable plastic surrounds around the piece of the tree where the roe deer is likely to rub its horns. That's exactly the right height for a roe deer buck, and hopefully that'll solve the problem. If we look around, we can find smaller trees that have been similarly damaged, and indeed larger ones. Here's another bit of roe deer damage, and just to make sure that it doesn't occur again, a little bit of plastic tree guard should do the trick. We've tried to prevent the problem by putting these rather unsightly but much higher wire netting cages around the trees to stop the roe deer bucks rubbing on the stems, and it works, but it doesn't look very sightly. Here you can see a plant with only a small rabbit guard wire netting surround rather than a proper deer one. And you can see that in years gone by, there the roe deer have done their stuff. And the solution here is to take off the spiral at the bottom and put on a new spiral, so that when the roe deer next reaches in across to try and have a go at this trunk, he's just rubbing on plastic, and hopefully that won't be to his liking. Not very sightly, but it maybe does the job. And if we wander on, we can find, I'm afraid, yet more roe deer damage of this sort. Here's a nice sorbus which is already well protected, and here's a young oak which has got extra protection. But wherever there isn't protection, you're finding the same problem. Here the deer have been nibbling the new shoots on this sorbus. They haven't yet quite got to the stem itself. We need to get a bit larger cage and do the job properly. So rather fresher and more obvious damage on this multi-stemmed acer, which over the years has had a really good both a nibble and a attack with horns. You can see there where the tree is attempting to grow round where it was damaged, and again we just need to get a bit of plastic in the way so that the roe deer can't reach this branch again and do further damage to it. They always seem to rub their antlers at a certain height, and the height is sort of somewhere between waist high, around about waist high. Wherever they can find a trunk that they can rub against, they will. Doesn't take a minute to do the job. No prizes for looking nice, but at least we need a few more there, but at least we're protecting these young trees from yet another nasty attack by something that didn't exist in Cornwall at least 10 or 15 years ago.